It's a pleasure to have our friend, Representative Chris Smith, with us. Chris, you're trying to get to the bottom of this drone thing. Did you ever believe it would be this difficult, number one, to get to the bottom of it? And hold on. Let me ask the question. Did you ever believe it would be this difficult to get to the bottom of it? And number two, it would be this difficult to know what's happening? These are drones. They're not jet fighters.
Exactly. From Homeland Security to the FBI, the local sheriff, Bastardinardi and Sean Golden, are doing a tremendous job, but they're not the Department of Defense, and we can't get them engaged. And we have the ability at the joint base, which is within miles of where all this is happening in my district. They have the ability, they have a very, very good capability to detect, track, and shoot these things down, determine who they are. And I've asked Lloyd Austin to do it by letter. I've called down to DOD, the Pentagon, and we've asked the local base commander to get authorization to just let these things go wherever they want to go, coming in over the ocean, from the ocean, across 50 of them the other day. It was seen by one of our sheriff's officers. She chronicled 50. And a whole bunch of them followed a Coast Guard boat within, feet, like 30, 40 feet behind it, 12 to 30 of them. This is not a benign activity here. This is either China or maybe the Middle East or Tehran, or it could be Putin. Who knows? But it's not a friendly deal.
I mean, this is shocking.
Shocking.
You have a governor who... every now and then he goes to the microphone, but he can't get to the bottom of this. You have a Defense Department that says, no, it's not the enemy. We have nothing to fear, but we don't know who it is. I mean, what kind of gibberish is this? This is double talk.
It's very dangerous double talk, and it's reminiscent, but it's even worse in a way than with that infamous balloon that the Chinese Communist Party sent over our bases, like the B-2 bomber base. Why that thing wasn't taken down really early, including when it was over Alaska, it was not a weather balloon. And you look back, this reminds me of so many things we've had in the past where we had clear indicators that there's something really wrong, and you had people just poo-pooing the whole thing. And that's what, where is Lloyd Austin? Where's the president? He should be doing something on this, and he's not doing, as far as we can tell, anything. And again, the capability to bring it down and determine one way or the other what this is all about is right there at the Joint Base in New Jersey.
Where's this going to end? It's just so ridiculous. Here we are, the greatest technological force on the face of the earth, the greatest space force, the greatest air force, the scientists and all the rest, and drones. Drones, they're called drones for a reason,
That's right. I don't believe it. When Mayorkas briefed a bunch of us in the delegation with the governor several days ago, I asked the question, why can't we follow one of these or several of these to their point of origin? Don't we have that capability? And he didn't know. He's the head of Homeland Security. Well, maybe DOD knows, and if they do, well, partner and get involved in this. When I talked to the base commanders, and I talked to two of them, they said if anything goes over their real estate, they have capability to bring it down. I said, they're in proximity to you. Close enough, they can be there over you within minutes, if not half a minute, in some cases, based on how far away they've been. I just am angry because it reminds me, frankly, of 9/11. We had all these indicators, and nobody paid attention to it. And even, Mark, I wrote a law called the Embassy Security Act back in the year 2000, had all the hearings on the 1998 bombings at Dar es Salaam and Nairobi. And I'll never forget all the top security people, including Admiral Crow, chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, at my hearing said nobody thought that Al-Qaeda would do this, that they would go to a, quote, soft target. I said, well, welcome to to modern era. We know that there's terrible intent on the part of China. I've had 106 congressional hearings on Chinese Communist Party I can't even go there anymore. They wouldn't allow me to go on human rights trips. He's committing, he being Xi Jinping, genocide as we talk. They want Taiwan. And look what they're doing. It could be them, or it could be Iran, or it could be Putin. Name your poison. But to say we don't know and nothing to fear here, oh, stop it. We want answers, and we can get answers almost immediately if we just deploy the assets already there.
Do you think they have the answers and they're just not telling you?
No, because I think they look foolish by their ignorance about what really is going on. And if there is a real crisis that they fail to inform, I talked to the base military commander at the Joint Base. He didn't have any insights. He had his whole staff there in the office. I did it by phone, and so they couldn't talk to, nothing secret. But it was like, do you know something? No, they don't know anything, and so I don't think they know it. But don't tell us that there's nothing to fear, and that's what the governor's been doing. You don't follow a Coast Guard vessel the way they did unless there's evil intent.
Mm-hmm. So what happens now?
Well, we're going to keep pushing. I'll be on the phone again tomorrow trying to get the authorization. I've already asked Austin to do it. I know that some media people have said now they're going to ask, at the Pentagon briefings, just you've got it. If you tell me we can't detect a drone hovering in New Jersey and bring it down, what are we spending these trillions of dollars for national defense? And one other thing, this came out at a hearing yesterday. Chairman Pfluger chaired a great hearing, and what they discovered was that the FBI has $500,000 in their budget for this year for drones.
Wow.
Their walking point. That's nothing. So DOD has much. I don't know the exact amount, but they have a very significant budget.
Chris, what if you had to surmise, what do you think this is?
Well, I think, you look at the way warfare has evolved, where drones are now an integral part of it. The attacks in the Middle East on our ships by not just missiles, by drones. The Ukraine-Russia battle, war, is filled with drones. And China, boasts about their advances that they have made in drone warfare. So, it could be the harbinger of something awful, or it could be a probing to see what does the United States do when you violate their airspace, trespass, if you will, and then do it with impunity, coming off the ocean. There probably are, if it's coming from the ocean, as the origin, there are ships out there that are doing this. And I've asked the Pentagon to go and investigate, send out our ships to find out where these things are coming from, or how could they be approaching us being New Jersey, but even New York now, from the ocean across the sand and into the mainland. It shows how porous we are, how at risk, remember Ronald Reagan was criticized when he wanted to have a nuclear shield, which Ted Kennedy foolishly called Star Wars. We don't have a lot of defenses, and especially on the perimeters like this. So they come in, nobody's noticing. Now they are, and it's local law enforcement that's doing the yeoman's work on this, and individuals who are reporting on this. I don't know. We have to get this answer today. I mean, what's the delay? Why would Lloyd Austin wait? Just today we had another hearing on the egregious leaving out of Afghanistan when 13 of our service members died, and that was so poorly done, and it told China, and it told Putin, it told the Middle East, Iran especially. The Americans, and they write about it all the time, they're cutting and running. Now are they probing us, one of those actors or all three of them again? I can't believe the lack of sense of urgency that the Department of Defense should be all over this, because they're the ones who possess the capability to make a determination. But look what they did with the balloon. They watched it, go across the United States. I still can't believe that. If that was a movie, you would say, I'm not going to go and see that one. That's not believable. And yet it was. So this administration has been so lax, on every front, human rights front, every front, and now on this one as well. So I'm hoping that, we'll get an answer tomorrow, because I'm calling again down to the Pentagon. Why don't you authorize, one of our teams at Joint Base to go and ascertain who they are and where they're going? You have the ability.
The truth.
To your question before, Mark.
I'm just dumbfounded at how stupid this is, because how stupid do they think we are?
Exactly.
Do you think, Congressman, do you think the communist Chinese would let this go on for 15 minutes?
They will let it go on for 5 minutes. Mm-hmm. That whatever we would be trying to do over their airspace would be immediately met and done away with. They wouldn't say, well, is it a, fill in the blank.
And why don't they shoot them down? Who cares who it is?
They should.
I mean, what is the rationale for that? Oh, it could hurt somebody. Okay. They're not overpopulated. They're not overpopulated areas all the time. Track the damn things. Don't we have radar? Isn't radar like 100 years old?
Yeah. We've got radar, and we got a capability to find them. This isn't, pardon the pun, but it isn't rocket science per se. If this has not been built into our threat assessment of hostile powers, shame on us. How vulnerable are we really as a nation? And unfortunately, this is telling our potential adversaries that America is asleep at the switch, and especially this administration. Now, I believe that'll change dramatically when the President Trump assumes office, and Pete and all the others get behind the effort to really make America not just great again, but strong again, because we don't have that right now. We absolutely do not have that now.
I mean, you're president of the United States. Don't you pound your fist on the table and say, what are you telling me? For 2 days you don't know what the hell this is and who the hell's doing it? Go up there and find out.
That's what I would do. And who knows if he's done it, but apparently he hasn't. Watch the Pentagon spokeswoman today say how, these are not our drones, they're not American drones, military. Okay, well, who are they?
Mm-hmm.
Why don't you have answers?
And how do they know your fellow congressman from New Jersey's wrong? How do they know?
Yeah, how do they know that? Exactly. I mean, the Iranians do death to America and death to Israel every day of the week, including what they write on their ballistic missiles when they're testing them. They put it right on the missile itself. They hate us, so let's realize that. And again, if they're testing and probing, their initial reaction has to be, "Wow, how open is that place? How porous? How lack of defensive."
Wait till we fire a hypersonic missile over there. They really won't know what to do. They're probably thinking.
That's right. I'm sure it goes into their calculations. Just like, and I brought this out to Blinken today at the hearing. I chair the China Commission. I read the Global Times and People's Daily. They do editorial after editorial admonishing the people in Taiwan to realize that, hey, they will not have your back in the United States. Look what they did in Afghanistan when they left their own people behind and left their allies as well. They won't be there for you. And they do it constantly with their editorials and their op-eds in their newspapers and their other media. It's just, I asked Blinken about that, and he just, he says they would love for us to be bogged down, in Afghanistan for many more years to come. That's not the lesson they learned from that terrible exodus. What they learned was we cut and run, and we didn't even do it well, and we left everything behind, including people.
100%. Well, Chris Smith, keep doing a great job. And if you uncover something, have your people let Mr. Producer know so I can bring you right back.
We'll call you right away. I appreciate it.
All right, brother. Take care of yourself.
Thank you.
Be well.
Bye, Mark.